What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your second stimulus check update, and I have a lot of new breaking information for you guys. We're going to hear about the eviction moratorium. We're going to hear about the second stimulus package that they're trying to pass this weekend, or should I say by this weekend. They're trying to come up with a deal. I'm going to give you the details on that, and we're going to hear from the Democrats regarding the next stimulus package and what will be in there. Stimulus checks, unemployment checks, how much. I'm going to give you all the details of it in this video. So make sure you watch all the way to the end, because in addition to that, I'm going to give you several different states at the end of this video that are passing stimulus money or rent assistance money, which is basically the same thing. It's money in your pocket to help you pay the bills. I'm going to give you the details on that at the end of this video. But first, give this video a like down below. It really helps out our channel. And if you're new, make sure to subscribe down below with the bell icon on so you don't miss out on the breaking information that is going to be coming out every single day regarding the next stimulus package. All right, let's jump right into it. Okay, first up, regarding the foreclosure and eviction moratorium, the Federal Housing Finance Agency has extended its moratorium on foreclosures and evictions for borrowers with mortgages backed by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac until January 31st. Those are the two largest government organizations regarding mortgages, and the vast majority of mortgages, and also those two companies are the two largest government-backed mortgage-backed companies. So again, that the foreclosure and eviction moratorium will be extended until January 31st. They estimate that this will help 28 million homeowners with enterprise-backed mortgages. Now, if you think that may apply to you, I recommend Googling it and just do like an hour of research and figure out everything you need to know. Become an expert on the eviction moratorium and how it might work differently in your state and city so that you're prepared. And sometimes you have to make partial payments. Sometimes you have to provide a letter. You need to talk to the bank or talk to the landlord or provide them something in writing. So just take a little bit of time if that might affect you or anybody you know, and just do your research on the matter because it varies by state and city. Next up, the U.S. passes a grim milestone. We now have over 100,000 active people in the hospital right now with positive virus cases that have actually gone into the hospital. Over 100,000 people right now as we speak are hospitalized due to this virus. Regarding stimulus, we have several different things to cover. Number one, they're trying to make a stimulus package deal by this weekend. So literally within the next few days, they're trying to make a deal, and they're going to attach it to the government shutdown bill, which needs to be passed by December 10th at 11:59 p.m. because by December 11th, the government will go into shutdown if they don't pass a new government shutdown bill. Now, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said he wants to pass a stimulus package with that government shutdown bill together. So basically, that puts a clock on the stimulus package of basically like 7 more days. That's really good news because that means we're going to have stimulus passed within the next 7 days. The question is how much, what will it be? Will there be checks? Will there be unemployment? And those are all the details that we're figuring out right now. First of all, Joe Biden, who is the head of the Democrats right now, even though he's not in office, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer look at him as the president in their eyes, even though he's not the one signing the bill at the end just yet. Joe Biden, the head of the Democrats, says that the $900 billion stimulus package that Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are working on as their starting point, Joe Biden says that that is a down payment, basically that this is the first stimulus package that they want to pass now before the end of the year, and then they want to have subsequent or more stimulus packages after this. Nancy Pelosi, who's the Speaker of the House and the leader of the Democrats in the House of Representatives, and Chuck Schumer, who is the Senate Minority Leader, the leader of the Democrats in the Senate, says that the $900 billion proposal is just a starting point and they want to negotiate up from there or, quote, make some improvements. What I expect Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer to want in this package for them to put their seal of approval on it and actually pass it in the House and the Senate, which needs bipartisan support, basically support from the Democrats and the Republicans, is that I expect checks of at least $1,200 for all people and $500 at the bare minimum for all dependents. I expect them to expand the checks for dependents this time around so that more people who missed out on dependent checks the first time will receive them. I expect at least checks of 1,200 and 500. I also expect, remember, this proposal has a $300 unemployment extension with retroactive only back to December 1st. I expect Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer to negotiate on that. I think that they could easily get to $400 per week from $300 per week. It's only $100 more. I think that would be an easy win for the Democrats. Now, Joe Biden is saying that they really want $600 per week. I'm going to show you here what Joe Biden's saying in a second. And again, even though Joe Biden is not in the presidency yet, what he says is basically the authority of the Democratic Party, basically the direction that the Democratic Party is going in. So what he says is very important because it's like saying what Mitch McConnell says for the Republicans. It's basically what the Republicans are thinking in the Senate. So when Joe Biden says something about stimulus, it's basically what the Democrats are saying, thinking, and what they want to do. So Joe Biden's saying they want $600 per week, but I think that they're going to take a deal at more like along $400 a week right now for unemployment. And then these subsequent packages that they're talking about passing again in January, February, March, possibly multiple stimulus packages coming in the new year when the new Congress comes in and Joe Biden comes in, that they're going to probably seek $600 per week then. After they get this one of $300 to $400 per week. It'll also be interesting to see if they have mortgage and rental assistance in there, because mortgage and rental assistance would basically just mean more stimulus money coming back around to you guys to help you pay your mortgage and rent. Let's listen to a couple interesting clips of what Joe Biden said yesterday regarding the next stimulus package.
I just want to thank you for joining me today and for sharing with me what you and your families are going through. And I know times are both tough, but I believe that with the right policies, we can fundamentally change things. And my hope is that we'll be able to help in a short order, but that depends a lot on our friends in Congress and the other side who are prepared to take the action that has to be taken. And when I think about the economy, I don't think about the gross domestic product or the state of the stock market. I think about families like yours, family like mine, families like I grew up in.
Well, hopefully the Democrats will agree with that, because that would mean more money to provide people stimulus checks, unemployment, mortgage and rental assistance to just get us through this pandemic, which is probably going to go deep into 2021.
The first point of this is that I think that the Congress, they're trying like the devil. There was a bipartisan effort. It's been happening now time and again, a bipartisan effort that came forward about 3, 4, or 5 days ago that called for, instead of the $1.6 trillion that the House thought, I think it's 1.6, Cecilia, I can't remember the exact number, in the new bill that they passed, back in May they passed it. They just finally decided, they negotiated something for about $900 billion. Wouldn't be the answer, but it'd bring immediate help for a lot of things quickly. But what happened was the president said he wouldn't support it, and apparently Republicans in the Congress said, the Senate said they wouldn't support it. So it's now back to square one again. And what our friends seem to be focusing most on is liability. Guaranteed there's no liability for businesses if, in fact, they open, anything happens. I mean, anyway, it's a long story, but here's the deal. One of the things that we think should happen and continue is that no one should be evicted from their apartment or their home for being able to fail to be able to pay their rent and or their mortgage until this crisis is over. and it should be funded. That should be held up. Now, you can't deny the apartment owner. He or she's not have just pockets that are so deep they can afford to pay everything and not have anything. So it was supposed to be paid for, not a loan, to be paid for in a crisis. This is a national crisis. This is a national crisis that we're facing.
So that's interesting. By the way, this interview with Joe Biden was over an hour long, so I'm only showing you the important parts. I went through the whole 1 hour interview for you guys and trimmed it down to the most important parts. So what Joe Biden's saying there is that he wants to provide mortgage and rental assistance going forward for on a federal level. So we're seeing this on states and cities levels, which I'm going to bring you some new programs here in just a second. But on a federal level, that the federal government might basically cover mortgage and rental relief for the vast majority of Americans, which would be very interesting and very good because honestly, mortgage and rental assistance almost always is more than stimulus checks. You know, these stimulus checks of say $1,200. This mortgage and rental assistance, they're giving you like that every month. I mean, we have all these different states and cities that are passing like $3,000, $5,000, or they're giving you like $1,500 a month for 3 months to the course of, to the tune of $4,500 or $5,000. All these different states and cities are actually passing more money in rental assistance than the stimulus checks themselves. A lot of people haven't realized that yet because they don't really watch the video to the end, or they're just interested in the stimulus check, but they don't realize that these mortgage and rental assistance programs are actually more money than the stimulus check, which is pretty awesome.
And so there's a lot of wonky language, but there was a proposal that said that we would, in fact, the federal government, pay the share that the business used to pay for the employee so they could keep that health insurance policy they had, and until things got better. Thirdly, we find that the president is still in court trying to strip away all of health care from the Affordable Care Act. Just flat eliminate it all, get rid of it all. It's deadly wrong. I think not only should we keep it, we should be adding to it, providing for a public option, a Medicare option if you choose that. If you can't afford to buy in, then you're in a situation where you get Medicaid. If you're eligible for Medicaid and your state doesn't provide it, you get it for free, period. There's two ways to deal with health care. One is to supplement the businesses that are going out of business or can't afford to keep their health insurance for their employees. And secondly, to make sure we make it a lot easier to buy into the Affordable Health Care Act and get more coverage with a lot cheaper, with drug prices coming down substantially, as well as making sure that there's a Medicaid option, a Medicare option, like option in the health care plan.
And again, I'm trimming this just so you see the most important parts. And here we're going to see how he wants more money.
That seems to me is the unemployment with the $600 kick-in is really important. It's the thing that allows people to stay above water. It gives some sense of security. It's not like there's a lot of jobs you're going to go to. Like, oh, you're sitting home being lazy. Well, where the heck are you going to go get a job? Every one of you, if there were another job out there that could pay you something, you'd be out applying for it. But it just makes no sense. But it's some of our very conservative friends think that the same people who think you should have to, if you need what used to be called food stamps, you should have to work to be able to do public. I mean, come on, we're way beyond that. I guess the point is the full Congress should come together and pass a robust package of relief to address your urgent needs now. And that means extending unemployment insurance for Lori and Jessica and Karen and the millions of Americans who, like them, who've lost their jobs or ours through no fault of their own. And that's going to help you put food on the table and pay the bills. We've got to make sure businesses like yours, Dan, have the resources they need in addition to the guidance and health and safety standards to open safely. to open safely. And that will help businesses stay open, hire workers, and like all of you. Thirdly, we have to provide states and cities the funding so workers like Lori can go back to work as their job as a school crossing guard, keeping children safe. And we have to make sure that fourthly, people can't get evicted from their homes because they can't pay their rent or their mortgage payment during the pandemic. This isn't a political game. This impacts on people's real lives and families. It impacts on all of you, all of us. And we need to get help out the door as soon as we can. And Americans like you need relief now. So I've been urging our congressional Republicans to work on a bipartisan emergency package now. But any package passed in this so-called lame duck session be now on January 21st. At best, is only going to be a down payment on what's going to happen early next year. My transition team is already working on what I will put forward in the next Congress to address the multiple crises we're facing, especially the economic crisis and COVID. Come January, the Vice President-elect and I are going to fight every day for your families. That's my commitment.
So there you go. Joe Biden says that any bill that the Democrats can basically agree with on the Republicans now is just a down payment to what they're going to be providing at the end of January when the new administration and the new Congress comes in. So whatever they pass now is just a down payment and to look forward to even more coming forward in the next few months. In addition to that, I want to go over state and rental assistance really quickly. I've been getting a lot of people that have been asking about Louisiana. Louisiana has a emergency rent assistance program. However, it is temporarily suspended due to the overwhelming response, and they're basically looking for more funding, or they're going to be adding more funding. So just Google Louisiana Emergency Rental Assistance Program if you're from Louisiana or you know anybody, and click the subscribe button here because they will send you notifications when they reopen the program. Again, these rent assistance programs are worth thousands of dollars, and you have to apply for them. They don't just magically give you the money in your bank account, okay? So that's for Louisiana. And also I want to cover Florida. I covered this recently, but Google Florida Housing Finance Corporation rent assistance, $40 million for rent assistance to Florida. It also says impacted homeowners and renters can apply for rent assistance through their local government housing office or through 888-362-7885. I will keep you guys updated with more rental and stimulus check programs that are passing now. In addition to this breaking news on Congress every single day, new videos at 10 a.m., 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you don't miss out. Make sure you're subscribed with the bell icon on and share this video. Click the share button down below so others like you will know about these stimulus programs. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on Amazon FBA. I have dozens of students that have replaced their entire 9-to-5 income by selling products on Amazon, and I teach them how to do that. Click on one of those videos to watch them next, and I will see you in the next video.